Good evening, YouTube. It's Mel Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, June is about to be over. In another few hours, it will be July. And here, this weekend, it's the 4th of July weekend. It's a day where America celebrates its independence. Here in America, us black folks, we celebrate our independence about 2 weeks ago. That's Juneteenth. But, that's a different situation. So anyway, folks, I follow my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to KL. He's a great guy. He makes good content. And I saw the interview with this lovely lady right here a while back. And, it was a very interesting interview. And I think I felt like I'm a poacher, but, as a content maker, I always wanted to reach out to people that interest me. And I like to, hear their stories and share what got them into the sport of bodybuilding. We have a lady here from south of the border. We have a lovely lady here of, a lovely Miss Eva Guzman, if I got her name right. If I do it, yeah, I appreciate that. And she is an IFBB pro, and she's been competing for a good while. But also, she's competing in the upcoming, which is coming up in a month from now, is the Masters Olympias. The Masters Olympia is making its debut, making a return, and this year it's going to be all 10 divisions. As you know, back in the past, the Masters Olympia was mostly exclusive to men. And they dropped it after I think about the 2000s. And then now with the growing number of much mature competitors coming into the sport of bodybuilding, it's now opportunity for these competitors to have a chance to go to the Olympia. Even though this is also, as you know, it's Olympic qualification. So you have to be 40 plus to compete at the show. But if you win, you get the shot to the Olympia. As you know, this year they dropped the point system. And I think it's a good opportunity for some competitors who want to get the shot that maybe, especially, now since you have to win the show, there's no points. It's a great opportunity for some competitors. So we'd like to introduce the lovely Miss, Eva Guzman. And, we want to ask you the question. Explain to us, how did you get in such a sport of muscle? And it's say in Spanish, machismo.
How did I get into bodybuilding? Mm-hmm. Well, it was by chance. I had no intention of really being a bodybuilder. I was a runner. I had been running for 20 years. I was very slim, very petite. I hardly had any muscle at all. So, but I got injured in 2000. So at that time, I was not very happy about the injury. So I started to go to the gym, trying to get strength in my back. But I didn't really think about being a bodybuilder. I just wanted to get back to running. But time went by, years went by, and actually I never really improved, really to go back hard training on the track. So in 2006, I decided to give it a shot at bodybuilding. So I prepared my first show in 2006. At that time, I was 44. Yeah, well, I was 44 at that time. So that's the story. I really didn't think of becoming a bodybuilder. I hated being at the gym. I like outdoors. I don't like indoors. But you never say no, never say never. So here I am, 17 years after, and heading to the Olympia. Yeah, something that I never thought I would be able to achieve, and now I'm 8 weeks out.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah, that's pretty good because and yeah, me personally, I'm more of an inside person. I do go to the gym. I ain't gone for a while because I had a little setback a while back, so my doctor let me go back. But it's tough when you got to get up, you got to do this, you got to do that, work out, get it. Sometimes there's times where, especially you get in the morning, and your bed is hugging you, and you say, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave you, bed.
Yeah.
But it's everybody in the sport. People got to understand that you have to go to the gym. It's part of the routine. It's part of being consistent. If you're not, you never get to the next level. We got somebody here who's come through here. That's the man KL the Wanderer. He just came through here. It says, "Wow, thanks for the shout out, George. Hola, Miss Guzman. Yeah, shout out to KL the Wanderer. Appreciate him. And he's my friend of me. He's a cool dude, but he's but anyway. So your first show was, you said what was your first competition? What was that feeling that first time you were on stage?
Well, yeah, the first one was 2007. in Mexico City. I competed as a amateur 10 years in Mexico. It was scary. I felt really almost naked. I thought everybody was watching my body. Um, that is a feeling you get at the beginning. But everybody is exactly the same, looking pretty much the same. So nobody notices that you are in a tiny bikini. Uh, yeah, I was scared. I was very scared. I have a picture actually of that moment, and my face says everything. I was doing figure at that time. Actually, I didn't like it. I didn't like the high heels. I felt kind of dumb walking on the heels, and so that thing was not for me. Figure, I did it a couple of times, maybe 2 years, but I didn't like it. Actually, I didn't like it. I didn't like to be with everybody there, not having a minute for yourself. So then I went into bodybuilding a couple of years in Mexico. Uh, was not planning to get very big. I mean, at that time, I just liked, you know, training and doing a show. I liked the dieting. I really love going through the process of pre-contest and contest shape, but never thought I would get so far at that time. I mean, I had no. I thought I was like too old at that time.
Well, like I said, what I learned ever since I started doing content, there's a growing number of women who get into sport like later into life. Ladies who are in their 50s, 60s. Just even I have a friend. She competed a while back in the show, and both her and this lady turned pro. She was in her 50s. The lady was in her 70s, and it's just to have the passion for this, the hard work you put in. And it's just people got to understand that part about being a bodybuilder. It's not just it's like the mindset of most people, especially everyday John Q. Public said bodybuilders say, hey, you pop some pills, or pop a little weights, that's it. No, the aspects of bodybuilding is you have to follow a diet, a routine. I mean, it's a lifestyle change also. People need to understand that part because it's not just like taking this magic pill here and lifting this weight. You have to be consistent and follow certain rules and guidelines to build a better body. This is from my man KL the Wanderer. He says this. He says, I used to run myself. You get addicted to it, but you feel aches at times and stiffness. Good to stretch. Yeah. Okay. I don't want too much. Yeah, I'm kind of. Also, this was from my man Charlotte Millen. Good afternoon, George and Evangelina. Thank you, my man Sean. And also, Sean says this. He says, I follow her on IG, incredible physique, and she's gorgeous as well too. And like I said, we're gonna pop into her IG for a minute. We'll pull some pictures here, and if you want to check her out, follow her on social media. It's in the description. And she got a lot of pictures here. And I think the show you were talking about is it's right here. This one here, you're in the bikini.
Yes.
Look at that. Yeah, it's like anything. It's a transformation. You gotta. It's like being a child. You have to walk before you got to crawl before you walk. But yeah, she has some.
Right.
Yeah, you got some great pictures here. And who's this young lady with you right here?
That's my daughter.
Oh yeah. And how many children you have?
I have 2 children. One is 33, my son, and my daughter is 29.
I know they love support their mother, their madre. I mean, especially you have a son. Because you know what, I don't know. People might be saying just funny words to your son, like see pictures like you're me and madre. Oh, yeah, I say me madre, you get mad. You want to fight for his mama. That's how we boys are. We love our mothers. But yeah, you got some great pictures here. We got this one here in the bed, and oh wow. How do you get senior looking great? I mean. Okay. I'm sorry. The pervy sage comes out of me every now and then, and yeah, you got some great photo shots. There's this one particular one I saw earlier when I was looking at, and it kind of made me feel kind of funny. I don't know why. It's that here. It's this one right here. It gave me that funny feeling.
Yeah, that was a photo shoot I did in Dallas. No, in in with EG, with this guy who's really very good at it. In Now it's San Antonio. I always see him there. Eddie Gomez. He's really good. He's really good. I have lots of pictures from him.
Yeah, because I've seen some stuff. A lot. I think a lady who did review Becca, she's a good friend of mine. Tony Mercury just did some stuff with Mr. Gomez a while back. I mean, he's I think also another lady. I think that's why he's based in Texas, and a lot of ladies who live in Texas would work with him.
Yes, he's taken all the bodybuilders in the world. He knows all of us. He's really a nice guy and very professional.
And see, here's your son and your daughter. That's so sweet.
Yes,
I
these are
mean,
my kids.
yes, that's so sweet. Yeah, they love you. They love the madre. And what was that first feeling when you decided to compete? What did you told your kids, say, I'm gonna compete? What were they like when, especially when young, because they were young? What were they feeling like knowing their mom was gonna be on a bikini on stage and show off her body?
They thought I was crazy. I told them that one day at that time, when I began, I was a bit overweight. Maybe I was maybe 20 pounds over. I'm always a size 4, even I get 3. At that time, maybe I was a 9. And I felt very miserable about it. And as I couldn't run because of the injury, I couldn't. I mean, as a runner, I used to put into my week, maybe, let's say, couple of 70 miles a week, 80 miles a week. That was what I was doing for many years. So I couldn't run. I mean, I could maybe do maybe 10, 15 miles a week. So that wasn't enough for all the calorie intake I was used to. So I got a bit fat. So I decided that I just wanted to change. I wanted to have abs. I wanted my body back. So I told them, they were kids. I mean, they were maybe in secondary school. My daughter was primary school, and I told them, hey, I'm gonna one day gonna be Miss Mexico. And that's the title you get in Mexico if you win the women's category. And I remember that they would they just stare at me and they said, "What? you what? You want to be a bodybuilder?" And I said, "Yeah, one day I'm gonna be a bodybuilder." And they laughed. They laughed. They just said, "Okay, my mom is now. I think she's in her 40 crisis." And now she wants to become young again, or I don't know. I don't know what they thought, but for sure I made it clear, and I began. I just started doing the diet, and I got somebody who guided me at that time. I had no idea what bodybuilding was. I really had no idea. He just told me that everything was about the diet, that 80% had to do with dieting properly, and that as a bodybuilder I wouldn't make much money, but it was more in something of your heart, that it was passion, that you were a bodybuilder because you were passionate about it. And at that time I remember I said, oh, okay, good, all right. I'll do it. And well, I began, and I did a little bit of off season. I didn't get much muscle at that time. And then I went through the prep, and I felt I was dying. I remember the diet. And here in Mexico, they did like very old fashioned, very old school diet. I mean, you were eating air only. I thought I was gonna die. I was gonna faint. I was really. But the incredible thing was that I liked it. I liked, this thing that your body starts emerging out of nowhere, and you start seeing things that they were not there. I thought, wow, this is really cool. I mean, in the mirror, you start, oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't know I had this, right? And at that time, I didn't have like a lot of muscle. I was maybe on stage 110 pounds, maybe 115 pounds. But I got hooked up. I mean, I just loved it. I think I'm kind of masochist. I like really challenging and yeah, you suffer a bit. But I even have, now I love the suffering. I really enjoy it. I mean, just it's great feeling so bad. Really, you start feeling so tired. But I love it. I really love it. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to stop this because I really enjoy it. And every time I do it better and better and better. So, well, now that I'm professional, now I understand a lot of things, and I see a lot more on the mirror every time. So yeah, I did it because I just wanted a change in my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had got a divorce. I was maybe my kids were kind of right. I was maybe going through some kind of crisis, and I wanted a change. I just wanted to look different, to feel different, and I couldn't run anymore. So I said, well, let's try this. And look, 17 years after, I'm here doing the same thing every year. You said something about consistency, and that is right. It's not about, maybe you can have a lot of talent, maybe you can have a lot of money, maybe you can have both, maybe, but if you don't stick to it and you go through a lot of disappointment because, well, it's it's a sport that it's not in your hands. The judges will say if you brought what they were looking for. I think in most of the cases, in my case, I've been far away from really being successful on stage. More times I have said, oh, this was really bad, right? But you keep on pushing. You keep on saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to improve this. Because I love the fact of, looking better. Um, so that is the point that I mean, I just go on the train and nothing is gonna say nothing's gonna keep me from not being there. Even disappointment. I said, okay, I'll do it again, and I'll
Mhm.
do it again, and I'll do it again, and as many times as necessary until I'm satisfied. I know maybe the judges will say, oh, maybe this was not an, oh, but the thing is that the package you bring, the effort you put in, is really your 100%. That you say, well, this is what I have. Maybe you didn't like it, maybe okay, it's okay with that. But I really did what I had to do. So every time you have this chance of bringing in the best you can do with the circumstances that you have, because I mean, I'm not sponsored. I've never been. I have to think about all the money that I have to, collect in order to do the shows, and my prep is not maybe the best, right? I have to go through a lot of things that maybe and sponsored athlete or somebody who has quite enough money wouldn't have to. And that is a lot of it's a disadvantage, right? Because I cannot rest maybe properly, I cannot sleep properly, I cannot eat properly, and still I do it. So it's a matter of consistency, really. One day you look at the mirror and you say, wow, I have really improved. And that's my case. I mean, I started out of nothing. There was nothing in the mirror. And I knew it. I remember the first day I was in the gym, I looked at the mirror, I had my weights in my hand, and I was honest to myself. And I said, wow, this is really going to take a long, long time. I'm 44. I have only but the idea of what I would maybe can might look like, but I know I saw a magazine. I remember it was a nice girl there at the Olympia, and I said, "Wow, I mean, I would really like to look somehow like that." And but I knew that it was going to take time. That it was not going to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that it was going to take me a long, long, maybe 10 years. Because if that's something you have to consider when you're in your 40s, 50s, that time is not on your side. Time
Mhm.
is not on your side. That means that part of your life when everything was on your side, is not there. Now, the only thing you have is a lot of patience, a lot. Yeah. And well, you say, okay. I thought I'm a master and I'm going to die master. So there's no problem. I mean, I can keep on doing this for maybe you said 70 years old, right? I'm always going to be a master. I started as a master. So, okay, well, let's bring the time. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And things have happened. Every time, every year, I say, oh, there was this improvement. Oh, this year, probably this last year and a half, that was my first time I really took off. I mean, no bodybuilding. I mean, no shows, no nothing. I just went to the gym, did what I had to do, and forget about bodybuilding. I was not all day thinking about shows no, just went to the gym, did what I had to do. Every now and then, sometimes I didn't go. I didn't eat like, calories intake. No, I ate what I wanted to eat. I just forgot about bodybuilding. I was kind of tired of bodybuilding. And it has been my best off season in my life. Now that things are on the mirror and I'm uncovering, I said, wow, I mean, it looks good. And I didn't do, like religiously, like methodically, like weighing every calorie, every rice, every potato you eat. No, I just said, I'm going to relax. I moved out of Mexico City. I live now in Merida. For the guys who don't know where Merida is like 4 hours and a half from Cancun. I'm in the southeast of Mexico, very beautiful, calm place, very quiet, excellent living here. And I changed my life. I said, I'm getting out of Mexico City. This is crazy. This city is really, it's beautiful, but go there 2 days, 3 days, and just get out of there. It's like New York City. I mean, I love it. I love Manhattan, but for nothing in the world, I would live there.
Yeah.
So that was where I lived. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's expensive. Mexico City is not that expensive, but it can be very, very kind of violent. I mean, it's an aggressive city, a lot of traffic, a lot of people are crazy there in a rush. So now I live in a very beautiful city by the sea. And everything changed, everything. I mean, my life got a 100% improvement, and I think my body felt that. Yeah, my body has improved, maybe, I don't know, incredible, at 60. Yeah, I moved here and I was 60. So that's also something that is not true, that age. And I have my doubts. I really have my doubts about this aging process. For sure, is that bodybuilding is the elixir of youth. If you want to really at least be healthy, you have to go to the gym until you die. Yes, that is what people have to do nowadays if they want to be healthy, their immune system get better. Just hit the gym every day, as you said.
There's an old saying, one of my favorite characters, he says like this, he says, what doesn't kill you makes you stranger.
That's right.
I can understand that because, wasn't that long ago, I was nearly 500 pounds. And I was taking care of my mother. My mother was ill for a long time. She was ill for like almost 6 years. I was taking her, and I wasn't eating right. I wasn't doing things I do. Also, I have a medical issue. I have a pacemaker because I have a issue with my heart. And I got a heart attack almost 10 years ago in my job. And I can understand that sometimes medical problems can make you force, I need to make some changes. And I made those changes. I still, have some issues I got to work with because one thing I can say, like, I didn't say about thing about because I got arthritis in my knees. I got some issues with my shoulders. One time I had to go to my orthopedics because I had a spur in one shoulder. I got a tear in another. And it's tough, getting yourself to get up in the morning and to pull yourself to go to the gym. And, and there's times where you say, I want to do this. But what I learned about bodybuilding, you have to have the love for it. It's not a very lucrative sport. It's not a lot of money for you ladies, especially unless you are sponsored. And usually they're going to sponsor the more, as we call them here in the States, the tits and ass division, which is bikini and wellness. because those divisions are more aesthetically pleasing for the everyday person, the fan. We got here, this is from man Sean McMillan. He dropped this. He says, good luck in the Masters, Miss Olympia, Evangelina. Also, this is from man KL. He says, you need to write a book also on your experiences, madam. It don't have to be a long book, but, it could be. And also he says, people can learn from you, So, yeah, and, it's experiences. Have you thought about, you have an interesting story, like I said, you got divorced, you raised 2 kids, you got a sport, you got this. Have you thought about putting everything to paper and put a book out there? Because I think people would like to read your story because you have an interesting story to share.
Yeah, I have, I think I'm like really too busy and I have ideas. Yeah, I think I have what years give you. That's only experience. I'm 61. I've done a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of things, and that really teaches you. Life can only be living it. You have to live life. You have to experience life. The only way to learn is living, committing mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and, thriving. That's the way. I thought it. Yes, I have thought it. I said maybe one day I'm going to write. I have some ideas about putting them into paper. But I don't know when, because I'm still active, and really, when you go into a prep, life is just like goes crazy. I mean, everything is all day is about bodybuilding. I mean, I wake up and I do right now I'm doing the cardio in the evening because here is very hot. So if you don't wake up 5 in the morning, around 7:30, it gets really hot. So now I'm doing in the evening, but then just, prepare breakfast, go to the gym, and I have to take care of the routine too. And I have to, so our hours and hours. And I said, right now I fell asleep. We just got back from the gym. I said, I'm going to take a nap. And when I realized it was 20 minutes to 6, and I said, my God, I mean, I was dead. These following 8 weeks are really hard. It's when you get really shredded. But my body right now doesn't want to. Now every pound is cardio, and that takes a lot of time, 1 hour and a half a day, 2 hours of cardio, plus 1 hour and a half training, plus the prep, plus the routine that is also. So I don't have time. Yeah, I've been thinking that I could maybe at least just do a YouTube channel and talk to people, because a lot of people think, and that is very general, that when you hit certain age, I mean, you're done. I mean, there's no possibility you can do something for you, physically speaking, right? Mm-hmm. And it's wrong. It's totally wrong. I've been active as an athlete since very young. That is one thing that it's true for me. Becoming a bodybuilder was not difficult, was easy, because I had already been through a lot of training, demanding training, very painful training. Running is very painful. Track, I used to do 1,500 meters on the track and 5,000 meters, and that is painful. It's really painful. But it's not, bodybuilding is painful in other way. If you want to be a competitor, the pain starts dieting. that is painful. The last 8 weeks, the body doesn't want to lose weight, and you have to push. So it's different, but it's the same kind of, you have to have the mental focus. You have to just say, I want this, and I want it, and I mean it. And no matter what, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I can say that part, because I can say that how, it's tough, because you know what, you have to, especially when you're bodybuilding, food is the most important part about building the body. I know some ladies, they have to ingest a lot of food. You have to, especially, I know someone say they be this weight and then have to eat this, and the diet. That's the, we talk about the diet. That's the tough part. When
That is the tough part.
because
That was
they
the most difficult part for me, was get into the diet at the beginning. I mean, I'm telling you, 17, 16 years ago, I had my Mexican food. I mean, that's what we ate, what I ate. That was what I used to, having my milk with my bread in the morning and in the evening, and um, things that you're used to doing for a long time because your parents did it, because that was the way you were raised, and suddenly you have to stop. No more bread in your life, no more milk in your life. And it took me a long time, really. It was not easy to get rid of certain habits. That was the difficult part. The training, that's easy. That's a piece of cake. But the diet, that was getting into this lifestyle for good. And once you do it, once you are really happy about it, then it's easy. Then you don't sacrifice. I mean, I'm in Merida. There is traditional food here, delicious. But if you eat something like that, I'm going to get bloated for 1 week. I mean, it's so hot, the food so spicy, and I don't eat it. I don't eat tacos, every now and then. But but I'm happy about it. I mean, I don't suffer. It's the way I eat, always the same, the same, the same. Yeah, it's kind of boring. I mean, bodybuilding food is not like, oh wow, gourmet, right? But it works. It works. If you eat that thing during a period of time for long, long, and you eat clean, and it's gonna work. For sure, it's gonna do what it's supposed to be doing. And a lot of people don't believe that. And I think most of the people that I know, most cannot handle the food. They cannot. They just feel like having something and they just go out and eat it and don't control. I mean, one thing is having a piece of pizza every month, and another thing is having a piece of pizza 3 times a week, right? You cannot do that. You cannot eat a hamburger every week. You cannot, no, it's out of the question. You cannot. If you want that body that you're thinking that you're going to have one day, you have to just get into the diet and make it yours, make it your life, make it the way you live. You just don't think about just having your eggs in the morning with your coffee and whatever carbs you have, and you're not going to have anything else. Anything. You're going to have that 365 days a week, a year. And that's the difficult part. The other part, the training part, everybody can do it. And but don't you said something about getting in the morning and feeling like not going. For me, that was not difficult because I was on the track 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. It was raining, it was cold, and I did that. And I got, I just was there for 20 years of my life. I was running in the woods on a weekday, 5 in the morning. At 7, I was home. I was packing everything to go to work. So I know what it is, the feeling of, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to stay in bed. And you don't stay. You go, you go, you go. 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. That is the power. That is the power. If you do that, you can do anything in life. Whatever you achieve, whatever you think in life you can do it, you're going to do it. It's not only bodybuilding. Bodybuilding or any sport that you do it really with passion is going to teach you for life. That is the real thing. You have that power. And in bodybuilding, the beautiful thing is that you see, I mean, running, well, you can get your personal record, you can get a record, I don't know, to go to the Olympics, whatever. But here, the prize is your body. You can show it off. You can, I mean, you have a body that everybody would die to have, and you have it. It's yours. I mean, you cannot buy it. You cannot go and order it via Amazon. You just work for it. And then you have it. It's yours. I mean, every piece of muscle is yours. And that is great. That is really wonderful. I mean, just look at yourself and say, wow, I did that. And running was not like that. You can, yeah, I had a slim body, yeah, I mean a nice body, but really a body that you say, wow, I mean, I have shoulders, I have abs, I have tights, and I can see it. That's great. I mean, that's something beautiful about bodybuilding, being able to see the work of art that you did. You did it. You earned it. That is, for me, is wonderful. I mean, for a woman, imagine just having the body and also not looking at it that it's, collapsing, that it's falling apart, because age does that to a body. It just falls apart. It starts, gravity starts calling you. And I don't want gravity to call me. I mean, not yet. I'm not going into the earth right now. So I'm giving a fight. I'm giving a fight. I don't wanna. Uh, Another thing that maybe it's interesting. Think about this. I don't know how old you are, but when you're having the best time in your life, that all these young issues. I remember when I was 30, I was young. I had little kids, but I had a lot of issues in my head. Yeah, I was not happy. I was married. I was not happy about it. Um, but after so many years, right now, I'm I'm having the time of my life. I'm really happy. I have the life that I wanted. I'm free. I do whatever I want. I go wherever I want. So now I want to enjoy that a long more time. I don't want to get old. I don't want to get really like granny. I mean, I just want to have, now with maturity, now I can really enjoy my work, my life, and I feel blessed and thankful,
Yeah,
very thankful for what I have.
yeah, that's pretty good because I gotta respect that because it's tough to do what you do and keep doing it. Where other people say, you know what, I can't do this. I gotta give up. I can't get up in the morning. I like to like I said, and two, I like certain things to eat. I mean, it's food tastes good. It feels good, but if it's not good for you, don't eat it. Try to find healthy alternatives, especially in this lifestyle. We're going to show a little video of her, and this is when she earned her pro card, and it was back in 2017, and it was at the North Americans. We're going to pop it up here,
Yes, yes.
and here you go.
Oh, you have the video.
Yep.
George Brown, live from the 2017 North Americans for Maximum Muscle Report. We have,
Evangelina Guzman.
and she is a champion tonight. I wasn't even going to try it. How you feeling tonight?
Oh, I feel great. I've been waiting for this for a long, long time, really.
Tell us a little bit about the long time. Like, we want to know, some good things that happened, some bad things. What kept you going? Just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I started this 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 45 at that time. I'm 55 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it started because I just wanted to lose some weight. And then, I don't know, I got hooked and I continued and I loved it. And I was a runner,
Okay.
a middle distance runner, but I got injured.
Oh, okay.
So I got a bit overweight. So I started bodybuilding to get, recovered from my injury in the back. And that's why I started. And then I liked it. I couldn't run anymore.
Okay.
Actually, well, I do run now, but just to get lean.
Okay.
And then I loved it, and I wanted to I started as a figure,
Oh, okay. All right.
but I didn't have chance there. I'm a bit wide,
Okay.
so I went to bodybuilding, but I didn't want to get that big.
Yeah.
So when they opened physique, I said, well, I think that's where I should be.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
And then I started, competing in Mexico, but no success, and the parameters were, I don't know, I couldn't understand them, and I have come already. This is my third time here,
Okay. All right.
and I didn't have a chance that time. But I have a new coach. I started really training hard and dieting, and my body changed.
Okay. Well, you got International Federation accreditation now. So Mexico, that's where you're from, but now you're legit. You're definitely a pro. You deserve it. You put in the work. Congratulations.
Thank you very
And
much.
what do you think you're gonna do for the future as far as competing
Well, I would like to try pro show. I mean, I know I'm
this year, or you think you're gonna shut it down, or
next year.
Okay.
Yeah, next year. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's there's almost no sponsoring down there.
Okay.
So I came here with a lot of, everything has come from me.
Okay.
I don't know if I can make it to the pro level. I mean, thinking about, the investment.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'll really try. I would really.
I mean, you're a champ right now, so you definitely can do it. It's just about continuing to stay grinding, stay pushing, and pushing towards your goal, and you can achieve it just like you just did.
Yes.
What are you eating tonight?
Big hamburger and fries.
A big hamburger fry, not a small one.
Very big one.
Okay,
With
well,
salty.
congratulations,
fish fries.
Congratulations once again. You deserve it. Hard work pays. George Brown for Maximum Muscle Report.
Well, like you said, hard work really pays. And, that was practically 6 years ago. It was
Yes.
2017 when you're on program. We got here from KL Wonder. He's saying this. He says, New York will stress you the F out, but don't know any place I could stay. Now, you can come down here to North Carolina if you want. You would write a diary, also maybe turn into a book, but YouTube channel ain't bad either. Yeah, YouTube. And also he says this. He says, I like my Mexican grilled chicken and rice.
Ooh, yes.
And yeah, and you said again that, especially I did an interview with a lady who's from your neck of the woods, Gabby Vega, and she's from Mexico.
Yes.
And said it's very tough because Mexico is a very masculine mentality down there, especially over in Europe. I think that's why a lot of you competitors come here to the States. There's more opportunities for shows, competition. You do shows, and what was your first show? I think it was a St. Louis, or what was your first show when you competed in
No,
2018?
actually, I did the Farino Legacy.
Uh-huh.
It was almost immediately. This was September. I think it was at the end of the year, November. I think the same 2017. I did the Farino Legacy. It was very nice to see this guy there. Then they didn't do it anymore. It was the last time they did it. And then I did St. Louis Pro. You're right. Yeah, the first year I was not successful. I did only, actually, I did 5 shows. I did 5. So far, I've done 17 shows. The first year I was not very successful. Still, my conditioning was not on point. I was still bringing up water. I looked watery. I looked kind of flat. So what I did was I called Dave Palumbo, and we did 2019 shows, and I did pretty good that time. I did pretty good at the Masters, at the Open, in the Rising Phoenix. And then the next years were, I did Masters, has always been good. I placed good. It's difficult to get a win in the Masters. I have had at 50, yes. In 40, 35, they placed me maybe second. I haven't been able to win there. But it's been pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with the looks. I did keto diet. I'm doing keto again with Dave. I tried last year, 2 years and a half. I tried to do low carb. It didn't work for me. I just get really foggy, and my body starts doing very nasty things to me, and doesn't want to go down, doesn't want to lose weight. I feel really bad. So this year for me, just getting there is going to be a win.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to do many things to get there, economically speaking. As I told you, there are no sponsors. I've never had that. So, but this year was particularly difficult because I stayed out of the United States, and as you say, there are a lot of opportunities over there. But my visa expired, so for 10 months I couldn't. I just got my visa back actually, and I was out of work for 10 months. So it's when I saw my name on the list, I was happy, but at the same time a bit worried. I said, now I know how I'm going to make it. I don't have any idea how is that going to happen. So I'm working on that. The next day I was dieting. The next day, I mean, I didn't even wait 2 days. The next day I said, okay, you know what? Diet. Let's start with the diet. There's not much time. So I'm doing okay. I have ideas. Always I have had the fans on my side. That's something really nice about the United States in general, and especially in the United States. Fans are really nice. Uh, so yeah, I have had help from my fans. That is true. Even in Mexico, I had some help, but it was fans, not really the government or the federation. They don't care a thing about athletes in my country. Even young athletes, even people who go to the Olympics. I mean, it's a disaster here in Mexico. It's a real drama for athletes. I remember as a runner, I mean, at that time I was really poor. So it was so dramatic even to get a pair of tennis shoes. So now I cannot complain. I have ideas, resources. Now there's internet, there's Instagram, there's a lot of things that there weren't, and that you can take advantage. As these spaces too, people get to know you, who you are. Uh, as Gabi Vega says, in Mexico, it is difficult. It has been. We are. I mean, no kidding. I think bodybuilders, because I moved to bodybuilding. I was not doing like very well in women's physique. My frame is kind of squarey. So Dave Palumbo told me maybe you should do bodybuilding. I mean, you're not so petite. I'm not a big girl. I'm not going to look huge on stage, but I have worked my mass, and I think I'm going to look good. I mean, I'm not going to be big, no, but if you have noticed in the open in bodybuilding, there are girls who are bringing packages on 135 pounds on stage. And they don't have this huge size, but they do have a lot of conditioning. So that's what I'm expecting to bring, conditioning.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we bodybuilders in Mexico, bodybuilding, I don't know, maybe I don't think that we are more than 5 or 6 pros.
Yeah.
Gabi
Yeah.
Vega is one. Myself, my coach, Maria Segura, is another one that she's coming back from retirement. Uh,
There's I think,
Gabriela Rivera. Uh-huh.
yeah, at least about 3 or 4. Cause I saw Maria Segura. I remember back in the day because I've been, I remember her. She was competing good part of I think the 2000s and 90s. Took a break. I think she also like yourself. She has children. She has family. And as you said again, it's not a very lucrative thing. If you don't have sponsorship, it's like expensive because you got to think about not just counting your food, you're paying your coach because you have Jumbo Dave Palumbo. That's a legend. He trained so many women in sport. So many people. I mean, he has his own YouTube channel, RX Muscles. He talks a lot about bodybuilding. He does interviews too.
Yes. Mhm.
Dave's a great guy. I know he has some issues with his heart too because I think he had some surgery some time ago.
Yes. Yes.
And then, like I said, again, just counting the cost of travel, then the cost of your suits, the food, and this and that. And in the men's division, the guys got to wear, as we call it, a banana hammock or a pair of broad shorts. And you ladies, you have to dress up. You have to look presentable. You have to, your hair, your makeup. I remember I was talking with one
Yes.
lady. Yeah, I was talking to one lady. She's a competitor, Janina Kowski. How she remember back in the day when they were competing, they only had like 2 posing suits, nothing fancy. Just regular plain posing suits. But now you have your final, which you have your prejudging suit, which is just, it's just
Yes.
a regular suit, and then you have the bedazzle suit that might cost you, I don't know how much it's going to be in pesos, but in American money, it can be anything from $300 to $1,000.
Yes, $1,000. Yes. It's
Yeah,
crazy. A
yeah.
presentable, I mean, for an Olympia, 1,000.
Hmm.
1,000.
Yeah.
And I said, how? Well, nowadays you can rent them. So that's what I'm going to do for the Olympia. I think I'm going to rent it because I'm not going to have that money. I have suits, but I don't think they are at that level, at that pro level. I'm going to the most important stage in the world as a bodybuilder. There's no other stage like that. So you have to be presentable. You have to be at that level. That was something that caught my attention the first time I came to the United States in 2013. I said, wow, I mean, this is very different from Mexico. This is really different. And I said, I want to be here. This is the place where I want to be. This is the maybe I'm never gonna win, but I mean just living the experience is worth. Not in Mexico that it was so mediocre. The level organization was pathetic. I mean, really, my family suffered 10 years, you know, going to support me, and it was really so bad, really. When you compare and you I got to the North Americans the first time, I said, wow, this is where I want to be. I mean, this is where I want to compete. At least feel that it was that I was taken seriously as an athlete,
It
right?
reminds me. It reminds me of a movie. You remember Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere?
Yes.
And it's the end of the movie where this guy walking says, it's Hollywood. Everybody wants to come here, and that's what America is. It's like Hollywood. A lot of competitors want to come here. There's more show opportunities. Like over in Europe, there's not that many shows unless it's your bikini, men's bodybuilding, or the wellness, something like that. But it's harder for you women in the more muscle divisions like physique, figure, and also women's open. My man KL, he dropped this. He says, bodybuilding ain't for everyone, but I think for the average person, you do have to discipline. You do have to discipline to times when it comes to food. Yeah, and he says this. He says, you know, and I watch Rocky movies to motivate me, and Dragon Ball Z and Wu-Tang Clan songs.
Yes.
Yeah, and also he says this. He says, I do like when her hair was longer. She looks nice, but that's just me. He says, and this is he's still for me. He says this, who while she is beautiful, he's still for my guy. Yes, she is beautiful. Hey, he's still for my guy. He's still for my guy. Yeah, that's my thing. I like to say, and and yeah, it's tough. Like one thing is, you're talking about the internet, social media. A lot of women, they do things to make money. Like they do the photo sessions. They do. I know some ladies have OnlyFans. I know some ladies, they go on certain sites because it's the way to make income in between the
That's right.
shows.
That's
And
right.
if bodybuilding is more lucrative, especially for your competitors, like if there was more okay, if you want to travel, you should, the IFBB should pay for it. If you need something, you're the top level competitor. We come to see competitors, and I think there should be opportunity. And now with Masters coming, and Master shows have exploded because you have Gary Yuta. Here's a Master show, the World Masters, and I think it's coming up about the same time as the Masters Olympia. But it's just the opportunities for bodybuilding is so far and far between right now. This year they dropped a few shows. Even women's bodybuilding, women's physique is getting fewer shows. But the other divisions are
Yes.
bringing weight requirement for the men's physique, and and then you have others like you had shows like the Arnold, which dropped women's bodybuilding like about 13 years ago. They dropped back
Yes.
in 2013. Then they dropped
And
physique about 2 years
women's
ago,
physique. Yes.
and figure last year. And I'm saying figure. I mean, what's
Yeah. I mean, that's really annoying, and that's kind of an insult. That's what I think. It's an insult because you see, everything started with women's bodybuilding now there's bikini and wellness, because once some crazy women thought that muscle was good on women. Yes, this was back in the 80s, late 70s. Women thought that it was a good idea, and they dared to break this this idea that women should be weak or look skinny or whatever, and they did it. They just dare to change their bodies. Even, when people said at that, I imagine that time, if nowadays at this time still people stare at you and look at you, I can imagine back in the 80s, right? And now it results that now they are not allowed to compete there. They're not that we are not invited to the party, right? Because you're too muscular, because I don't know. I find it really, it's insulting. For me, it's a way to say, I don't know, and it's not only insulting. If you think about it, I think that what people said in bodybuilding is that women were getting too muscular, that women were like dudes, right? But the thing was that the judges were what they were praising. They would say, "Oh yeah, that's the physique we want, and that's the winner physique," and they do it all over. And I have said this once, and I'm going to say it twice, and I'm going to say it 3 times. Yes, the judges are the ones who push ladies to get more muscle. If you check 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Juliana Malacarne was beautiful in women's physique. That was the idea. Dana Lynn Bailey, the beautiful physiques, round, proportioned, with still body fat on it. Look at women's physique now. The glutes are ripped. That's what they are asking for, right? So, but who are the ones? The judges. So, and then that's very unfair. Now we bring the conditioning up to a level where the woman doesn't look a woman anymore, because shredded glutes are not like very, where do you see shredded glutes in a woman? That's really hard to bring in, right? And then afterwards we say, oh, you know what? You look too masculine. Now you're out of the game. Oh my God. That is insulting.
Yeah, like one thing is like how when the visions like that, it's like anything, the visions are starting to change and grow. As you remember, it was just originally when bodybuilding started, the ladies were wearing high heels, they were very feminine looking, but then you go up to like someone like Rachel McLeish and Carla Dunlap, and then you go up to Corey Everson and Sandy Riddell, you go to Linda Murray and Kim Zavetsky, then you go up to Iris Kyle, and it's evolving. And physique was supposed to bring in that look of like the classic look of someone like Linda Murray, very good lines,
yes.
very feminine.
Yes.
But then if you look at now, you look at people like Sarah Vilgus, you look at Melissa Tyke, who's going up to women's bodybuilding. She was in physique, and somebody say she's getting a lot thicker, a little heavier, because she does a lot of powerlifting. And some say we do that much powerlifting, you put on too much size, you get thicker, you get broader in the hips, you lose that symmetry. Even though, like, if you look at Natalia Cuejo, how she still has a symmetry, but how broad and big she was, because she for a long time she was like her. She was a figure competitor, switched up, and then with Shanique Grant, she was Miss Olympia. Then they gave the title to Sarah Vilgus, and then Sarah loses to Natalia, and then you saw and you saw the last show with the New York show. You had the Emily Sherbert, and you had Natalia, and those two. If you look at Emily, even though she may not have the size, she was really shredded, very shredded for a physique competitor. Her glutes, her abductors, everything was like she didn't even have those muscle builders like someone like Andrea Shaw, but she was really had a lot of. She was really shredded, and some say that maybe she should go up. But it's about that process. That's why those divisions were created. Was it to give a place for competitors like women who were too small for bodybuilding, with the physique, and the ones that were too big for too small for physique went to figure. It's just trying to find your place. We got here from this is for my man. This is for my man's balls deep. He has a question to ask. He says, "Flex for me, baby. I don't know if she wants flex or not. Yeah, it's up to her." He says, "Yeah, it says up to her." There you go, balls deep. You got your little flex ball deep. All right, okay. So put your tissue and your lotion balls deep. I know you're gonna be happy, folks. If you want to follow the lovely Senor Guzman, her social media in the description. She's on IG. She's also on Facebook. And you can go to her on her IG. She has a link. So if you're interested in following her, or even if you're so interested in sponsoring her in the future, reach out to her. But guys, be genuine in your interest in her. Don't be that weird guy. And this is why I tell guys out there, it's not against you, Senor. No D pics. Stop it. Don't do it. Women don't like that. You know about D pics when guys send their papilla. When the guys send their papilla on the phone. No, you don't want to see that. You don't want that. Also, my man Balls T says, "Yes, Lord." You got size to the flex. And my man KS says, "Nice flex." He really likes the flex. So yeah, you see how yes, you had Daily Baby back in the day. You had Julie McCarr, but everything's starting to change if you look at the divisions now.
Yeah, I mean they have nothing to do with 5 years ago. Juliana Malacarni, I don't know where I put her right now, because with that physique, I don't know. And I think that's why she retired, because she didn't want to bring down her conditioning more, and she just said, "Okay, you know what? I've had enough." And I think she was pretty clear about it. She said, "No more, not with me." That Aline Bailey also retired because of the same. Because women's physique now, I don't, I don't know where it's going. Um, bodybuilding is kind of different, because when you have more size, a lot more size, it becomes really difficult to get very shredded. Size and getting shredded are things that are in a kind of battle. I think the looks of Andrea Shaw are great. I think she looks really beautiful. Uh, and she's not in the, wild conditioning. Uh, and I think she looks great. I think bodybuilding should stay there, in size and in symmetry and in balance. That's, round shoulders, round curves, V tape, nice back, but not so big. I mean, I still, I went, I mean, I just changed to bodybuilding because in women's physique, I was not getting like the reward I was expecting. At the beginning, it was working, but then it didn't. And then finally, I didn't know what they were asking for, because I saw women very, very light, very almost, with no muscle, but very shredded, who got top 5, top 10. And I said, well, I don't understand what they want. They want bringing down the conditioning. But I mean, we are people, for example, for me, it's not that easy to get shredded glutes. I don't know if I'll ever make it. Still, after so many years, I still can't. There's like a time in my prepping that my body starts doing very crazy things if I push more, unhealthy ones, I would say. So I don't know. So for me, it's not, it's really not about the place. Everybody says, and what are you expecting for the Olympia? I'm gonna say the real thing. I'm not expecting anything at all. I mean, whatever is good. That's it. I don't know. I'm not. I haven't been doing really bodybuilding seriously. I've never done an open show in my life. This is the first time. So I don't know what to expect. I don't have an idea. So for me, just to get there is going to be great. Just to get there, just to make it. Whatever happens afterwards is good. Whatever.
Mhm.
I would love to do the routine. I have this routine uh, in the drawer for 2 years. I haven't been able to perform it. It's Janine Lewinsky. She's the one who made it,
Mhm.
and it's a nice classical. As I was a dancer, I forgot to mention that I was a dancer for 10 years. So I don't know. I hopefully I'll be able to make it this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have top 10? I don't know.
I interviewed Janine Wednesday, and we talked about how they said that then bodybuilding should be an art. It should be something beautiful. And
Yes.
I think some people do have, I think some of the guys do love the big freaky monster chicks. I mean, like this is a good example of one, I'll probably right here, this is
Yes.
here, she's very popular. She doesn't compete anymore. Because I remember I reached out to her and said, that's Natalia Kosanova. Everybody knows Natalia Amazonka. She doesn't compete anymore because she says she's not going to make it. She makes more money offline,
Yes, of
online,
course. Of
and
course.
because she has a look to her. I mean, she's bigger than some dudes. I think she's probably bigger than guys in men's physique. Then but you know, she says that it's about art. It shouldn't be just about how she said that. You don't need all that muscle because I can see the link where she because I posted it on my IG. I sent you later. You can listen to it, and she talked about how it should be artistic. It should be beautiful. I mean, and is we know the guys get big and like you got look at guys like Big Romney. You can get as big, Big Romney can get as big as you want, but with women, you're still supposed to hold that level of femininity. But as we know, as us guys who are fan of female bodybuilders, we love you ladies. We get excited about y'all when y'all pumped up. You got the muscles, you're shredded. There's a small saying that we say like when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard, and we get excited about that. But we do want y'all ladies to be presentable. I think with everybody else, the mainstream of everyday America is not comfortable with women with muscle. I think they never will be because it's just something that's not, seen as much. Here in America, I think it gets a little more leeway, but in other countries like, in Mexico, you go further down, across the border, you go overseas. I know some ladies who live in New York, Barbara Majan, she mentioned that how she is in France. It's tough for her. I remember I heard that somebody was saying that Ann Moon should think about going over to women's bodybuilding, but Ann said she didn't want to be that muscular. She still wanted to hold her femininity. But I saw her last show when she competed at the Vancouver. Her back was better than some women in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, for me it's the same. When I began and I did bodybuilding, my idea was not really like packing too much. First of all, it's not that easy. I mean, I'm a petite woman. I'm not. I think that when I get really, really granny, like in my 90s, I'm going to be very, very slim and small. I think that's my genetics. So packing muscle is not something that is like natural. I mean, just, oh, I eat like. And then I'm 5'1". So in off season, I have really hard times fitting in any kind of clothes. Bigger, I don't know what I would do. I would have to use some kind of cloth all over my body because I cannot fit in my upper part in decent clothes. So it's not easy. It's not off season becomes very uncomfortable because you're like 20 pounds over. You have to make a lot of eat a lot and grow a lot. So I don't know, maybe not that much. I don't know. I have a saying that muscle is like money. Why? Because
Because
you
you
never
got,
have enough.
yeah.
You always want more. You have money and you say, oh, you have like a month, 6 grand. No, yeah, it's okay, but I would like to have 10, right? I think muscle is the same. Once you pack 20 pounds, you say, well, maybe I can have a little bit more here and a little bit more there. And you're never finished, right? You always say, oh, I need more. Yeah. But in a woman, the problem is that getting that muscle quickly and when you're very young has you have to pay something.
Mhm.
And that is what people and judges and bodybuilding should take care of,
Mhm.
right? And they don't do it because they push more and more. And um, and bodybuilding can kill you. That's the real thing. Bodybuilding can kill you. If it doesn't kill you right now, it can kill you later. And sure it will, right? So if you don't take things smartly, and
You want to tell her like,
slowly, you can get into health issues.
mm-hmm.
Yes, body fat in a woman, healthy body fat, athletic body fat is 20. Imagine 20. Uh, when you're ripped, what we see nowadays, these girls must be under six, but they stay like that all year round, all year round. Your hormones, your natural hormones, don't work with that body fat. So sooner or later, you're going to be in trouble, real trouble, health trouble,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not, in me, I don't have any problems. I'm not going to have kids anymore. I have already had the kids, right? I'm not going to have fertility problems. I'm not going to have, I'm done with that, right? If I want to show abs all year round, I can do it. I don't have any problem. My natural hormones are gone. I think so, right? But when you're 20, when you're 30, so I guess that was the decision Juliana took and Shanique Gran took. And they said, you know what? I think this for me is enough, right? I want to have a family. And I think, well, Juliana did. Beautiful girl she has, and beautiful. She looks so beautiful, so happy, so whatever, wonderful. And Shanique, I think she wanted to have family as well. So they said, I'm not playing this game anymore. I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want from me? And that is what has been happening. More shredded, more and more and more and more and more. And I think with this, it gets to a point that you're really, jeopardizing your your life, your health. Yes, that's the real thing. So, and when you're very young, when you're in your 20s, I mean, everything is like really passion, and you say that doesn't matter the price. I want this, I want that, but you're not looking ahead. You're not looking what's going to happen in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, right? So, in my case, I have taken things very slow. I've been 17 years training consistently and doing shows. I mean, every year. I just stopped last year. I didn't have a visa, so and I was moving and whatever, but I haven't stopped. But I took things really slow, very slow. So not having side effects, your voice, face, whatever, uh, and carrying the muscle that I think I still look good. I mean, you believe that and I mean, I've been called a dude in my country.
that 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 happens quite often with some ladies because you know what, most men don't like the idea with muscle. They feel it's not feminine to have that much muscle because it be guys who be built like me who don't have men's boobs who talking about because we don't have the same mentality y'all women have. But good, I talk about how young competitors like good examples like Michaela Aycock. I'll pull up Michaela's IG up here. Michaela, I think she's not even 30 yet. I think she's in her I believe she's in her early 20s. I mean 27, 28. And
Yes, 28.
and she's shorter than you. She's 4'11", and she really puts on a lot of muscle. I mean, a lot of definition. She works hard. I respect her hard work.
Yes,
But
very hard.
you think someone at that age she would want to, I mean, while back, she did kind of step back from bodybuilding because the story goes that, something happened to a friend of hers and she took a mental break from bodybuilding. But, she was physique competitor. She started, I think, bikini and figure. But then, you look at her now, she's really put on the muscle size. I think she's going to be competing in Atlanta this year.
Yes.
And, it's just, she has a particular look that probably works for her. But then, like I said, this is her with her father. You want to think as a father, you want your daughter to settle down, have children, or I know he probably felt like when she started to do this, he said, I got big comments like, I want my girl to be my son, but he supports her. That's good that you have that support with family. And we're talking about Andrea. I went to the Savannah Pro, Linda Murray Savannah Pro. I got to see Andrea live. It was my first bodybuilding show I ever went to. And she is just a beautiful woman. She has a great physique, amazing body. She has that great bit of balance. I think, she deserves to be Miss Olympia. Let's talk about like
Yes.
other women, like, either like someone like, lady her interview, Sherry Priyami. She's very impressive. And she's like yourself. She's a mother. She has 3 kids. One of her daughters, she came a nun a while back. People like, there's a growing number of women like yourself who have children. And, those younger women, like I remember back in the day, there weren't that many women in bodybuilding that had kids. There was maybe a handful, but now I think it's a large number. And you talk about how, Julie McCarr stepped back, she had her daughter. I mean, Shanique Grant, she was going to talk about, stepping away. She stepped away, but she's going to come back. She's doing wellness this time. I mean, it was been like, I think it was 2020 after the last Miss Olympia. She said she wanted to go settle down with her boyfriend, have kids, but while they broke up, she was working someplace else, and then now she's coming back to do wellness.
But yeah, why do you think wellness? Why didn't she come back to physique?
Well, I think she felt like, when she's going, because if you saw pictures of her, I think I'm pulling it up, she has changed. Her, she's as she was at one point, she was started out, I think, did bikini, and I think she did figure. But
Yes.
then, the look, for her kind of changed. She started to, I think she felt like it was the division that's more comfortable because, wellness is getting popular,
Very popular.
and there's a lot of girls who are jumping over from figure and physique to wellness because it has you still have a good amount of muscle, but you're not too small. You see pictures of Shanique, this is when she was good, like this one right here, when she was competing in women's bodybuilding. You can see, look at the shoulders. Look at
Yes.
her, she
Beautiful
was,
shoulders.
yeah, this is, I think there was I think it was 2019 when she was in Miss Olympia. And then you can compare how she looked like early in her career. She's has evolved. But then, like I said, the judges that in 2020 decided to go with Sarah Vilgas. You got Natalia in the back, and you got here Shanique and Sarah. And the thing is, like, other than the one thing that really separates them is that Shanique has breast implants, Sarah don't. And Sarah has a look that I think is kind of like, I think they want to go like a throwback, maybe early women's bodybuilding, And Sarah, she's been stepping up, put up money for women's bodybuilding shows. Yeah, she did one in Pittsburgh, one coming up in the Texas, I think in a couple of months now. I mean, yeah, and you like I said again, if it was more lucrative for you ladies to make some money, like where Prizeman was better, which hey, you can afford to come over here and compete and live here and do the shows, it'd be worth your time. But I think it's a lot more, more convenient for you to stay where you at because it costs a lot more to live here in America. It is
Oh, of
better.
course.
It's
Oof.
better.
That's why I don't live there. They always ask me. I would never live in the United States. Never. It is crazy. It's so expensive. And I would have to work like crazy to be able to support myself over there, the housing, the everything, and then the bodybuilding. No, I'd rather live in Mexico, not not interested. Mexican pesos don't do anything over there. You're dead. It's very expensive housing, for example.
I remember a while back
So
for
no.
yeah, I remember a while back for because I remember I got Gabby's sitting here PayPal. I said I'm gonna send something for your birthday, and I sent her was it $40 for a birthday, and when they did the money transfer, it was I think 800 pesos, and
Yes.
$40, 800 pesos. And I remember somebody told me, hey, they use that because we have a lot of migrant workers, all right, come over here, and then you can make money here in the States and go back home. Remember, one guy told me one guy he knew worked for construction. He was from Mexico. He came here, made his money, went back to Mexico, got himself a house, two cars, and a truck, and he's doing pretty
Yes.
good. You can take that money transfer, but here, only country that where the American dollar, the American dollar is more. Is it only country where the American dollar is less is in England.
Europe.
Yeah,
In
Europe.
England. Yes.
Yeah, and Europe, the pound and
Yes.
euro is more than the
Yes.
American dollar, and also I think the Japanese yen is more than the American dollar. But
Okay.
other countries like Mexico, Brazil, most South American countries, the American dollar is more. You can just leave that. You can live like a king if you go to down to
Yes.
Mexico.
Yes, that's right. That's what I always tell my fans that, hey, if you're looking for a place where to live, come down here. You would live where I live. Actually, is very nice. It's very safe. There are no problems with safe um, problems like in the north of Mexico with this narco problem. No, nothing happens here. Merida is the second safest city in all America, in all the continent. Not even in the United States, there's a safest place like here. So you live very good, really, very, very. That's why I came down here, and I don't have any intentions of living in the United States. Every time I go through customs, and they're asking questions, why, whatever, and I always think, don't worry, I'm not staying. I don't have any intentions of staying in the United States. I love it here. I would maybe stay 6 months here. But I would never live here. Never. There's no way. It's very expensive, especially places like Chicago, San Francisco, Boston. I mean, there's no way to live there. It's crazy what you pay there for rent. Uh, in Mexico, as you said, well, right now the dollar is has gone down. It's much less than 20 pesos. It's like 16 pesos right now, but still, it's very good. So if you make pesos and you're trying to convert them and do something in the United States, that becomes very difficult. That's what I told you. If you make pesos and you want to do a show, imagine how many pesos you have to gather. It is impossible for a Mexican competitor to think about the United States. It is too expensive. We don't make that amount of money in Mexico. You have to make a lot of money, and still you change those pesos, and you have very few dollars. So that's why we don't have like many competitors, many IVB pros, because Mexicans cannot afford it. It's too much.
Hmm.
It's too
Yeah,
expensive. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Other countries a lot of the wellness girls are from Brazil, and a lot of the other, I know I did interview one lady. She's from Chile, and that's probably about the same thing as you know, compared to American dollars and pesos. It's just if this is what I want to say. This is what I wish could do. Like guys out there who are fans, you ladies, who want to see y'all get the opportunities. They should generally reach out and say, "Hey, I got a contract. I want to help you out. I want to, you can stay over here for maybe on me for like 5 or 6 months. You can do shows, make some connections, make your money. You can go back home whenever you're ready." But his thing, what guys would do like this, saying like, Eva, you're a pretty senorita. I mean, if I do this for you, you do this for me. No, guys, stop it. This lady is a mother, 2 kids. I mean, and you wouldn't want any woman to do that. But if I was someone like a sponsor, I said, Senora, I would like to sponsor you. I want to see you grow as an athlete. You can come here. Like I said again, you can, take care of your expenses, your travel expenses, take care of when you need a posing suit, take care of that. And you talk about your posing suits. Well, you can do this. What a lot of competitors do, they sell their old posing suits to the
Yes.
amateurs
Yes.
because the amateur can use it because it's I know the size sometimes different, but you can find somebody like you're 5'1". You find somebody with your dimensions, it fits well. I mean, it helps out them on the come up, and then when they start making the money, they can buy the suits they want.
Yeah, even the pro athletes, they sell their because when you realize you have a fortune there, imagine $1,000 and you have like 10 suits, you have a fortune in your wardrobe. So you just want to get rid of it and just buy other things, right? So yeah, that is for me this time. I think I'm gonna rent it. There are places in bikinis that I have seen that I can get a suit for the Olympia, and just get send it back. That's reasonable, and I don't have to make the expense. Spend so much money right now that I don't have, and look presentable. So yeah, there are options. I mean, the United States offers a lot of things that are really nice. You guys are great. Really, I have always had lots of fun, and I have a lot of support, and I thank all of you for that. Yeah, because I get what I don't get in my country. Nothing here doesn't go on. People here more are in survival mode than and still bodybuilding, as you said, is not very popular.
Yeah, so
Still, women say, "Oh, I don't want to look like that. Oh, I rather have my arms flabby like a bat." These kind of, yeah, they
like
rather have,
they want to be like Batman. You're like
yeah,
Batman,
these this
like,
flabby part here.
like
They
this.
rather have those, yes. In a woman, I think it looks so terrible because that part, the triceps in a woman, they are a fat place. They are hormonal places. So with age, it gets really flabby. It gets awful, awful. You cannot wear a shirt like this after maybe 30 years. I mean, your arms are terrible. In a woman, it's very thick. The triceps gets very thick with age, and it gets very flabby. And they always say that to me. Oh yeah, but I don't want to look like you.
Well, here's the thing: is you see,
Don't worry, you're not.
you're not gonna look like you unless you, like I said again, if you don't follow a diet, you're not consistent. If you don't, do this, not everybody's gonna look like that. That's the mindset of a lot of people. They say if I lift like someone said, if I lift like this much weight, I'm gonna be like you. No, you're not. You're gonna get a little healthier if you lift some weights. Muscles. Like I say, what it does help your bones. It helps your skin. It helps everything. Like I said, when I started working out, and because I used to, like when I was younger, I used to play football, like American football. I used to work out. I used to love working out. But then when I got out of high school and got in the real world, and I was holding down two jobs and doing this and doing that, I couldn't do what I like to do, and I just put on the weight, and I wasn't eating right, and. But now I'm getting back in the gym. I'm working out, doing my cardio. I'm lifting the weights. It helps out. It burns that fat. And if you don't follow those guidelines, you don't work out, you don't follow a diet, you're not going to look like someone like you. I mean, even I can't look like you, and I'm a man, and that's different. I have natural
Takes some
testosterone.
time.
This is my man K. Other one. He says, I used to run in the cold and rain and snow. It's all willpower. Well, folks,
Yes, it
I
is.
don't have the willpower for that because I ain't trying to run in no rain, no snow. It doesn't here in North Carolina. It rarely ever snows. If it does snow, it's like barely this much, and it'll be melted by the next day or by the end of the day.
It is really horrible you to leave your bed at 5 in the morning and I said, "Oh my God!" And you see outside and it's rainy and you say, "Oh no!" And something I remember when I woke up, I was in the middle of the track, and I said, "I don't know how I made it, but I'm here." Okay, so let's get the workout done. Uh, but it's great. It's really great to have this willpower. It's something that it gets better with time and time. At my age right now, I've become a bit lazy to wake up so early. I don't have now like any reason, because at that time I was a mom. I had a full-time job. I had to work out very early in the morning and then come back and do the kid things, and then work, and then come back and then do the second training in the evening, because I trained twice a day. I was in my 30s at that time. So yeah, I have to wake up very early to get things done. But nowadays I'm retired, so I don't work. I don't have a regular job as I did. No more. So if I wake up in the morning, it's because I went to sleep at 10, not at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And but I have to sleep. I have to sleep a lot. Right now, as I told you, I died. I died for 2 hours and a half. I was going to take a 30-minute nap, and I died. So I think I died. Yes. I think that also happens a bit more with age. You start like needing more, rest time. That I think it didn't happen when I was 30. But in other senses, it's practically the same. I feel I haven't felt that 30 years have gone by, that I'm a senior now. I can enter free to many places here in Mexico. That's an advantage. Uh, that I save some money being a senior. Uh, but I think that this senior idea should be changed. That really 60 is just like I'm just getting started. I'm really in life, I'm just getting started. Really to live fully, completely. When I was in my 40s, I was coming out, the divorce. I had a lot of problems. My kids were still little. Uh, Life was kind of difficult, right? But now my kids are gone. I'm free. I can do whatever I want, and I'm very happy. So I just think that I'm just starting. I mean, starting really to live fully, completely, no worries about anything. I mean, life is, that hard part of waking up at 5 in the morning, hit the track, and do all the errands of the day, and do it repeated the next day and the next day. That's over. Now that's over. So imagine getting 60 and say, hey, I feel great. I look great. I feel strong. I mean, wow, I wish I felt this way when I was 30. Yeah, because at 30, I was still with a lot of things in my brain, right? You're still like not fulfilled. I was not happy. I was going through a lot of emotionally pain, and so I don't want this to get over, really. I would like to live like this maybe 20 years more, not get old, or what we think is getting old, right? We think disease, we think flabby arms, flabby everything, flabby butt, flabby everything,
Flabby
right?
stomach, flabby neck, something like that. Yeah.
Flabby neck. But now, I mean, you can get surgery, you can get aesthetical surgery. I mean, women, I always say there are no old women, there are only poor women, right? If you have money, if you have a way, you can get all the vitamins, all the supplementation, everything that's going to help you, the exercise, the sleep, everything, the boyfriend, whatever you need
You
to
said
be.
boyfriend. So you talk about,
Yeah.
like now you're the point where the kids are grown and they're in their own. You can bring a man in anytime you want, and have to spray and say, "I got a man in my room," so y'all have to say anything. It's none of your business.
Yeah, so imagine what a wonderful idea is for these women who are now in their 40s, do the investment to get to 60 and really look wild and say, hey, I'm free. I don't have kids. I have money. I have beauty. I have body. I have the world in my hand, and I don't have any more commitments, right? That keep you doing other things, right? Not for you, because women, we're always thinking about everybody, about the husband, about the house, about the kids. Everything is for everybody. Throughout a lot of years, that's the way it is. And then one day you turn around and you say, what happened to me? What happened to me? Where is that young girl that got married with, ideas and dreams? And that woman is gone. There's a wreckage in front of you. That's how I felt when I was 38. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I mean, what happened to me? What? So you have to move, you have to do things. Women have to think about themselves. And the best way is first the body, the mind, together. And then go and conquer the world. The world is yours. And so forget about, oh, you're 60, you're a granny. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, yeah, you can be a granny. I'm not a granny because my kids don't have kids. But this concept of age has to change in people. Age, getting old, or what we think is getting old, is a gift. It's a gift. It depends on you how you age. That is your business. That is your responsibility. If you want to be in a wheelchair in your 60s, 70s, 80s, that is up to you. That's your responsibility. There's nobody but you. If you want to look great, you don't even have to be a movie star like, I don't know, Jennifer Lopez or Madonna, right? That they have all the money in the world. You just have to keep moving, doing things. The body is the most precious machine we have. My body, for me, is my temple. I love it. I cherish it. I adore it. I'm in love with it, right? I take care of it because it's where I live. It's the only house actually that I have. I don't even have a house right now. My house, I still don't have it. So imagine the only house I have. And I always tell people, you imagine you buy a Ferrari, you buy a Bugatti, and instead of gasoline, you pour inside water or I don't know what kind of cooking oil instead of really nourishing. That's the same thing. The body is like you having the best Ferrari in your life, and you don't nourish, you don't respect it, you don't cherish it, you don't improve it, right? I was not born with a 10. I'm not Juliana Malacarne or these beautiful, Brazilian girls that have beautiful genetics, right? Or Shani Grant that has beautiful body, natural. I was born an 8, I think. And I've done an
let's say 9.5.
yeah, and 17 work, live work has made me look like a 9. I won't become a 10, never ever. I will have to reborn. I tell my mama, hey, please do me better. Yeah, but I cannot. So what I've tried. I have a wide waist. I'm not a tiny waist. So what I have done is build a big back, go with the shoulders. That's the beauty about bodybuilding. You can disguise that you're not perfect and look maybe better, right? That is the beauty of bodybuilding. You can make a body beautiful that wasn't beautiful, it didn't look that beautiful. Yeah, as I said, it's art. It's art. See a body splendorous at any age. Of course, you cannot compare yourself with somebody who's 20 because you're not going to look the same, of course. But still, you're going to look great. So that's the idea, I think. about getting old. This getting old, every time I show my ID when I get for these bonuses, I go to the pyramid, Chichen Itza, and I get for free. And they look at the age and they look at me and they're like, are you kidding me? Is really? I mean, are you 60? Really? Yeah, because that's possible. Because the thing is that the parameters right now of age are terrible. A woman in her 60s is totally collapsed. Yes. I mean, there's nothing, I mean, the body. Yeah, the body. You have to work a lot. I mean, not maybe become a bodybuilder, but have a nice, fit body, lean body, muscular body that will get you through 70, 80, 90 in a very healthy way, right? So I think that's something that, as you say, maybe I'll have to write it down, maybe do my YouTube channel and speak to women, because most of my fans are men, actually. They're not women.
Well, like I said, with this bodybuilding, the fan base is always going to be more men because
Yeah.
most women don't follow women like you. They'll follow bikini girls or the wellness girl because that's something more attainable for them. But with you ladies, your fan base, like my channel, I do a lot of content on women's bodybuilding because you women don't get enough attention compared to the men's divisions and compared to the other divisions. You women work just as hard. And you say about, women, the idea of women femininity is supposed to be not a lot of muscles, not the big muscle bellies, not the abductors. So like one of my jobs I used to work at a strip club, or we call it gentleman's club, you might call it. And the women were like full bodied, large breasts, big butts, everything like that. Women like you are not what people will find attractive. Hey, I find you attractive. I'm a big fan of female bodybuilders. And, you ladies excite me, and I love talking about you. But I'm from the South also. I love my women who are full figured, my women who are thick, my women who are healthy. It's just about what you like as a man. And this thing is, it's funny thing about this, when guys like myself who are fan of you ladies, we get picked on. We get referred as being gay because it's like, man, it's not. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're a very feminine woman. You're a woman with 2 kids. You're 61 years old. You look like you should be 50, maybe 40. And you just that you have to find that you living for you. And one of my a big thing is like this is one of my favorite is Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone. He says like life is about like this. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. It's you got to keep, because life is hard. It be tough, and you have to be like one of my other favorite quotes, like always be aware of surroundings at all times. Live for yourself. You should never live for anybody else, because you know what? You're never gonna make anybody happy. You should do what you want to do. You want to work out, lift weights, that's fine. You want to look big, buff, that's fine. You're gonna have the guys gonna be talking about, that chick, she's a man. You have the guy says, wow, she got a lot of muscles. I get, you're like like side, like here, it's like I'll pull this right here real quick, like this picture right here. Look at you're a very attractive woman, and people need to recognize that. And this right here, you want a little bit of material, people need respect what you ladies put yourself through, and you still hold. You got your makeup done, you got your eyes done. If guys see that, wow, she's hot. It's just about how you present yourself, and the only person that should care should be you. Anybody's opinion does not matter. You just throw your shoulder and just keep on moving forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what women should do. Stop, all the time thinking about their children, what they say, the husband, the boyfriend. Just do whatever you want to do. Don't ask permission. Just do what you want to do. And you're right. When you do something, if you, the people are never going to be all happy. Never. Never. That's something I learned from my first marriage. No matter what I did, he never was happy with what I did. No matter how much effort I put into everything, he was always going to say, "Oh, but you know what? You missed out this." So that was terrible.
That makes us think about my mother and my father were together for 55 years. And my father passed away about almost 10 years ago. My mother passed away about 3 years ago, and they were together. She raised 6 kids, 2 grandkids. My dad, he was in and out. He was living other side of the country, and I took care of my mother because she took care of us. And as a man, you should understand a woman's not gonna always be the same woman you married. She's gonna change, and you just gotta realize that if you're not willing to accept the fact that okay, you're gonna change. Man, we always think the woman we were with is gonna stay the same, and but you're not gonna stay the same. You've changed. You become a different
Yeah, of
person.
course.
You moved on. You are doing bodybuilding. You're doing this. You're traveling the world. And also, like question, your English is impeccable. When did you learn to speak English so well?
I lived I lived in Baltimore in the early 70s because my father went to study at Johns Hopkins University. So he was studying genetics, pediatrician. He was a pediatrician. So we lived there for a while in Baltimore. Actually, I went back to my where I lived, and I did the Baltimore Pro the first time, and I took an afternoon to go back. It was very wonderful to go to the same place where I lived, the apartment where I lived. That was wonderful. I never thought I would come back, and bodybuilding brought me back. And that's why I learned English. I was a kid, I was maybe 6 years old at that time. So my mother didn't like it. So we had to move back to Mexico. Um, my brother and I, we didn't want to go back. We actually wanted to stay in a boarding school because our life, I mean, it was difficult to get used to, the United States, the friends. And then one day my mother said, "No, I don't like this. Let's get out of here." So we did. But then I went to British schools in Mexico. That's why my accent still kind of, you could listen to it maybe like European, because I studied in a kind of Oxford schools in Mexico. And then I became an English teacher as well. While I was studying college, I have a bachelor in math. Um, I, I, I was a teacher for a long time, almost 35 years. I started very young. My first class. I was maybe 19 years when I had my first group. So yeah, it's been a while. That's why I know I learned to speak English. Still, I had a perfect American accent at that time. I've lost it a bit. But every time I go now that I go off into the United States, I practice more and more. I think I got to a point that I really have to study to become more proficient. Yeah, I need to study. I mean, really get into my English to improve it. But I still don't have time. I mean, the day is like 24 hours. I know what happens with the day, right? Especially when I'm still, active as a bodybuilder. Maybe when I retire, that I still don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe after the Olympia, maybe 1, 2 years more. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I have plans of writing, talking to people about my experience as a bodybuilder, mature bodybuilder, starting at an age that everybody would think that was not possible to achieve still things. And as you say, many women right now are beginning to say, you know what, set themselves free. At 50 or 60, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I don't care a thing what you think. Do think whatever you want. I'm not interested, right? That's when you really become happy. Because if you really try to make people happy, you're never going to do it. Never. Somebody's going to say, oh, whatever. Yeah, my kids at that time. Oh, mom, what? My son. Why? I mean, what do you want to become? I remember they said, why do you want the pro card? You look good already. I mean, why for? And I said, because I want to. That's it. I want to. It's like, going to school, getting a degree, and don't getting a graduation party. Yeah, you go to school, and then you graduate, right? The bodybuilding, and then the opportunities you can get after you get the pro card. A lot. Just being in an Olympia right now. If I weren't pro, I wouldn't be able to be there. And many other things. I mean, because it gives you status. That's the real thing. You get status out of the pro card because it takes you, it took me 10 years of my life. So I earn it, it's mine, and I'm going to die with it. So why not?
One thing, right? I think as you get that pro card, it should be a lot more benefits for your competitors, especially, like you should get stuff like health and life insurance. You should get, instead again, little things to help y'all along the way as pros. That should be, I think instead again, you ladies, you men, you women who are competing, you are the product. We, the fans, come to see you. And I think there should be more benefits to being a pro. And, opportunities should be more. But as you know, bodybuilding is not as popular as a lot of the mainstream sports like soccer, football, hockey, boxing. I do content on MMA and mixed martial arts. That's very popular here in the States. And, if it was more popular and more lucrative, you can do a lot more. You can travel to shows, you can do this, even though it's expensive to stay in the United States, but hey, you can stay a little longer if you want, if they were giving you a little better. But also, as you know, she's doing the Masters, and this is the list, and she's like a lot of ladies on this list are well known. Like there's I think Abby Jimenez, she's also was a physique competitor. I think this is be her pro debut in women's bodybuilding. Barbara Mojin, I think I've heard that name before. There's Cheryl Mears. She's competed in women's classic. She was Dana Shamish. She's come out of retirement because I think she hadn't competed in 4 years. Yourself, Jay Fuchs, who competed last year at the Muscle Fest. Leah Denny, who's like 52. She's a great lady, amazing. Lloyd Conley, I interviewed her. Marcelo Vadagas, I think she competed at the Vancouver show. Michelle Britt, who's probably the oldest competitor on there and the last of the true female bodybuilders. Rashada Bosworth, who I met last year. I think she's one of the youngest competitors. Salva Maddie right there. Tana Huey, who's a good friend of mine. Vera Makova, and there's Virginia Sanchez, who's from Spain, and she's in her 50s, and still she looks great for a woman in her 50s, and she's a mom too. And yeah, I think you ladies of maturity and muscle need to be recognized more, and and more opportunities for you as competitors. I think if the IFBB cared for their athletes really, I think they should do more for y'all, and you deserve it. So but I said again, I'm just a fan. I'm just giving my thoughts and my opinion. But like I said, I'm just deferring to you as the athlete.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Let's see. I'll keep you posted. You have my Instagram, and let's see what happens in this 8 weeks to go.
Yeah. Well, also going to shout out to her trainer and coach, and that's the man himself, Mr. Jumbo de Palumbo. Yeah, that's back in the day. That's him right behind. That's Beth Roberts, but now named Beth Ortiz. Jumbo de Palumbo. He works with people like Sheeta Black, and he's married to a lady who's, you heard that Sheeta Black. She's going through some, bad right now. She's going to have surgery in I think in a few weeks for a hip, and I think she was in her mid 40s, and all that years, it really affects your body. And there's been like one thing about bodybuilding, there's been a lot of deaths happening, and it is when you ladies are in I know when we see you shredded and buff, we get excited, but we got to understand that that's when y'all ladies are at your lowest, you're below the body weight of the BMI for a woman, and you are it's tough. You're dehydrated. You're drained, and and you can. I've seen videos and pictures of ladies collapsing on stage. I did an interview with a lady named Jennifer Sater. She fainted at the Olympia about 16 years ago, and it's tough. But like I said, we admire you, ladies, and what you do, what you put yourself through. It's tough. It's tough to be a woman and be in the sport. You don't have enough money, not enough recognition. People make comments about you. It's just it's tough. But we do, as I said again, as a fan, I do appreciate you, ladies. I do respect what y'all do, and I wish one thing I wish that there was more to be done. I think more recognition for you ladies and competitors, maybe a little more money, maybe more benefits as being an IFB pro level athlete. But like I said, this is before we live out because we're going to hurry out because it's already here's 10 o'clock for me, and I know it's turning 8 for you, so you want to get some rest. As an athlete, what would you like to see change in the overall sport of bodybuilding?
I think somebody asked me that the same thing. I think it's kind of like daydreaming, but I think judges and they should take care more of what they're asking, thinking about health. I think that is what is extreme. Yes, and do not praise that. Do not say, "Oh, yeah, this is really what we're looking for." Uh, because I think bodybuilding, at least old school, Glenda Morai, they never got that shredded. They never got, but they had really beautiful bodies. Beautiful. What you said about Janine, bodybuilding is art. Body should look healthy, should look beautiful in overall. Not too much of this, not a balance in all the body. Not because you're bringing huge legs, I mean, totally disproportion from the other parts. Uh, because those bodies were very proportioned, were nice waist, small waist, big lats, beautiful shoulders, beautiful legs, beautiful quads, but they still looked feminine to me. I mean, they really looked beautiful, their faces. So I think that is something that has changed, and I don't think that's for good. I think that pushes young people to push because they can do it. I remember myself in my 20s, in my 30s, I would push really hard. I could do it. But you don't think because you're too young. Too young to think about the future. Too young to think about that life is when you're 20, you think that 30 is very old, actually. That's so funny. Really, you think you're 20 and you see somebody 35 and you say, oh my God, he's really a mister, or she's really an old lady, and you're 20. When you get 30, then you think 40 is like, oh my God, I'm going to be a granny when I'm 40. And then as time goes by and years go by, you realize that was really so stupid. Because you are every time. Every youth is measured by your own age. For example, my ex mother-in-law, she's almost 95, 96. So when I met this lady 40 years ago, I was a kid. I was very young. But for her, I was very young. And still nowadays, after 40 years, she thinks I'm very young. I'm a kid because she's 90, right? So age depends where you are. She's 90, so a 60-year-old is a girl. She's a girl. I'm almost, I'm almost, I just got birth for her, right? I'm a kiddo. So that's what happens with age. When you're too young, you cannot see ahead. You cannot. There's no way you can see what's coming. Yeah, you have to live it. The thing is that when you're too young, you can commit terrible mistakes that will prevent you from getting farther on. And in bodybuilding, those mistakes are a short life. Yes. And when you're very young, you want things, and especially nowadays, you want things for yesterday. You don't want them for 10 years. You want them yesterday. And you're going to put all your cards, whatever it takes, whatever. And that whatever is can be hard.
Yeah, I
Can
think
be
a lot.
bad.
Yeah, I think young people, they want everything, especially here in the States, here in America. They want it like it's like pizza. They want it hot and ready and fresh. And anything,
Yes.
it's not going to be that quick. You have to put in time and work. I mean, I know everybody wants everything, like especially with things with the internet and stuff like that. Everybody, you order something from Amazon, gets here 3 days. I used to remember when I ordered stuff, it takes like 2 or 3 weeks before it gets here. And I had the patience. You have to learn patience. But the problem is, not too many young people have patience. They want it as soon as quick as they're ready.
As
And
soon as possible. But then you take shortcuts that can be really short. Yeah, that can be dangerous. That can harm everything in you. So I think that would be what I would that it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen because there are interests. Because well, that's the way maybe sports are. Think about any sport at the pro level. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody, because it's more like an ego thing. Yeah, actually, it's ego. You want to be the best. And then we come to get things to ideas like, what is the best? Is there really perfection? There's no perfection. The only perfect thing is death. That's perfect. Life is not perfect. Life is totally imperfect. But chasing this ego, and I'm the best, and I want to be the best, and uh, you get into trouble. Yeah, trouble that makes a lot of noise when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're, yeah, and doesn't make you feel happy. That is the problem. You're not happy because what you're chasing is unreachable. You're not going to reach it. Even when you reach it, you say, no, but still I can do better and better and better. And it's like an endless story that can put you in a lot of danger. That's what I think. And then you lose like sight. You really lose sight. And that happens a lot when you're 20, 30. You lose complete sight of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and enjoying, and really because you're threatening yourself, and you're not like very aware of that. Even that at very being very careful with what you're putting into your system, still you have a lot of side effects and a lot of things. So, but when you're too young, you can bear a lot because you know uh, what you do in your 20s, 30s, that's not good for your body. They're going to charge you in 40s, 50s. The bill is going to come for sure. The bill is going to come
or
with interests, with all the notifications, all what you did, everything is going to be there. But when you're at that age, you say, I'm forever young. That's not going to happen to me. That's no problem. And well, the real thing is that it's your responsibility. I mean, you wanna play roulette, okay, yeah, but for sure it's gonna happen. That's I even myself, I know it. You know, there are a lot of ladies who've been dying of heart attack. My age, 50, 40. Yeah. So just, keep it the safest possible when you have time. That's the idea. I mean, if you're very young and you have everything on your side, because it's a matter only of working and you're doing things, then just take things, you know, slowly, because they're going to come. They are going to come. But just take your time. Enjoy the time. And I don't know. I don't see that's happening. I think cases of people who in 3 years, I mean, 3 years, 2 years, and they're at Olympia, and they say, wow, I mean, I don't know, Juliana Malacarne took her, I don't know how long to win an Olympia. She took her time. I followed her from the beginning because I thought she looked so beautiful, so pretty, so perfect, really up to perfection in her body. And she took her time. She was kicked out so many times in figure because she was too muscular, because at that time, right? Oh, no, no, you're too muscular. So she was dropped 10th, 11. She couldn't make it first call out. And she was, taking her time. And one day, there it was. 4 times Olympia until she got bored. Then she said, you know what? I'm raising a family. Hasta la vista, baby. I'm gone. Bye. I'm not shredding down more, right? And she did it. I think that's very intelligent. She
She,
knew that she could make it. She knew that she was going to be really one day. And she took her time. She's beautiful, her face, her body, her skin, feminine. Now she's raising a family. Wow, beautiful life. I adore her. I think she's really an example
so,
of intelligence.
so you have a woman crush on Julie McCart. Okay, McCartney.
I think she's perfect. I mean, but the way she took things, yes, slowly, just putting the time and the patience, because she knew one day she was going to make it, and she made it. Nobody was going to beat her. Nobody, because she was perfect, and she was almost in her 40s. And now she's married, she has a beautiful girl. I mean, her life is so great, right? Because she took her time, her intelligence to say, hey, just put in the work and wait. So I don't compromise a future, a family, a lot of things that a woman can compromise. Yes, that is what I say if I had the chance. But it's unrealistic. It's not possible. It won't happen.
Well, I understand that, but sometimes, as I always say, it doesn't hurt to dream. So,
Yes.
folks, yeah. So, folks, we spent a lovely time. This is it's great when you spend a long time with a beautiful lady, guys. And you get to talk with her and have a good time with her. And I want to wish you all the best in this upcoming master show. I mean, there's some, I don't know, maybe it's circumstances right. You know, possibly you probably can make it. It's tough, but you can never say never. But maybe next year they have the Masters again. I think it's talking about bringing the Masters to US next year. So that's good. So you don't have to go all the way to Romania to compete if you get want to
Yeah,
compete again.
it's a lot of investment.
Yeah, it's a lot of
getting
investment.
getting getting myself over there is going to be, the jet lag and a lot of things. So I hope they really take seriously about the Masters. I think that they should encourage people in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s. And I also think that they should open the Divide Masters, because look, think about this. I'm 61. the youngest is, I think, this Rosanna Boswell.
Yeah,
She
yeah, yeah.
must
It was
be
Rashana.
she must be 40,
Yeah,
40
because
flat.
I think because I met Rashana last year. She was down here in North Carolina. She did a seminar, and I when I saw her on the list, I said, "Is Rashana?" Because they was going to be 45 and up, but because there was enough competitors, especially for women's bodybuilding, they changed it to 40
40.
plus. Because I know one lady, she said she was going to turn 45 in August, right before, right, I think right at the show. But I said she go ahead, and now that it's 40, she missed out. But the good chance that they might go with Rashana because she won the Puerto Rico Pro last year. They might, hey, hell, it might, if depending on how she comes in and how other ladies come in, it could be a toss up. You never know. It's like anything. You never know who we're going. Especially since the judges have a lot of control, and if judges go with who they feel is the person they want to see, and they're going to do that. But if the judges went ahead and just say, you know what, let's just do this. Let's settle on the right person. Let's not always go with the person that particularly fits the mold, but go to the person that has all the aesthetics. They have the femininity, they have the muscly. I mean, the big meaning about femininity, it can be a little over it, but we have all the conditioning, the genetics, the
Yes,
femininity, everything
that's
come
right.
together. But um, I know one lady, Melanie Horton, she wanted to do the show, but they didn't pick her. I did interview with Melanie a while back, but I know she probably, if they're gonna have a show next year, most definitely she's gonna apply. I mean, I think it's
I
gonna be.
didn't understand that. Actually, I cannot. I thought she had it for sure.
Well, she's gonna.
Actually, I'm going to tell you. She wrote to me like 3 days before the deadline, and she told me, "Don't forget to send your CV." And I was doubting. I was maybe next year. I mean, I don't have. I was thinking about the economical, and then I hadn't really done an off-season pro. I mean, but I said, okay, I'll do it. And and then because I follow her and she follows me, and then when I saw that, I said, I cannot believe it. I mean, why not? I don't know. There
Well,
was something, a mystery that I could not understand.
yeah, actually, I did it. What about I do things called comparisons? I did a comparison with you and Melody, and I'll send it to the video I did. It's a great video. I do these things where I talk about ladies and competitors, and both in women's bodybuilding, women's physique, all divisions. I really want to give y'all ladies attention because the fact is, you ladies, as I said again, you put in much as work as the men do. You put in time. You sacrifice a lot, especially you are a woman. You have kids. You have family. The men, they get more attention because the fact is, it is a division where men's division always get more attention than the women because the fact is it's the division that brings in promoters and money and everything else like that. But you ladies deserve that same opportunity. You should get a little bit more money when it comes to prize money. You should get sponsors. I know some sponsors want to go get bikini girls, wellness girls because they fit what they sell, the products they're selling. But you do use those same products. I wish more mainstream companies get involved in bodybuilding. Maybe it did come in that could hack up the money a little bit. But it's just this is me as an outsider talking, folks. If you want to follow the lovely Senor Guzman, her social media stuff is in the description. You can follow her on her IG. I think she has a Facebook. She's planning on doing a YouTube channel sometime soon. Let's get her on YouTube because we can use more women on YouTube. There's like I know there's quite a few female bodybuilders that have YouTube channels. Some of them are still growing. Some of them are pretty large. I think the largest one I can think of is maybe Natalia Cuejo. I think she even seen some stuff on my channel, and she's made comments on it. I'm not too much a big fan of Natalia. She did at least 2 shows this year. I mean, last year was doing like 4 or 5 shows. You already Miss Olympia. Sit the hell down. This but yeah.
Okay, well, let's be. I'm going to be around. So whatever you want to drop in my Instagram, cheers, whatever, I'll be happy.
Well, I do appreciate you, ma'am. And
No, thank you.
yeah, but we do have things. You have anybody wants to appreciate you? Someone, as we call it, a shout out to, like, besides Big Dave Palumbo, or who else you want to say thank you, appreciation to, like family and friends, or anybody you think you. I know most definitely you want to shout out Julia McCarr. That's your girlfriend.
No, well, she doesn't know me, but I really admire her because I think she's a very smart lady. Well, just thank you for everybody. Right now, I'm telling you, I'm working with Dave again. We had worked back in 2012. I think that was the first time I did his keto diet, and I was dying. And now things are going fine. I mean, we've worked together several times, and he's great. He's really great. I feel comfortable, and I think that we're going to do fine. I still don't know. I don't have any expectations, as I said. Um, Thinking about age, I'm one of the oldest. Michelle Brent is maybe older than I am. And then comes a wide pack of 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds. A lot of things happen, being honest, between 50 and 60 about muscle. Muscle changes a lot, starts getting like, well, old, doesn't look so like so puffy. It starts getting really hard, too hard. So depth in the muscle, the depth that you want to see is not there anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but for sure I'm going to have fun. That's for sure. I'm very happy about being selected. I'm very honored. I wasn't expecting it really. It was a surprise for me that it happened. Um, I took the opportunity. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I'm going to manage, but for sure I'm going to be there. For sure.
Well, like I said, this is what I would say out there because there's a lot of guys that out there who are fans of you ladies, who follow you on social media, who spend money on things like sessions and stuff like that. And you gotta think about it. Here, us fans in America, you can send her a few bucks here and there. And especially since the American dollar doubles, triples over more in that part in Mexico.
Of course. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
She can use the help. I mean, and here's those guys. Don't be that guy saying, Eva, you kind of sexy like you, yeah. I know you're 61 years old, so yeah, but no, stop it. Be that guy saying, Miss Guzman, I would like to help you out. I want to sponsor you, whatever you need from me, let me know. If you have a GoFundMe, you got a PayPal, you got something like that. I would happy to see your donation. If you need, anything from us, I like to do that for you. This is what we want to see people step up because these ladies, like I said again, they have to pay for their travel, they pay for their food, hair, makeup, tanning, their suits. I mean, guys out there, you got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and a board shorts. It costs more for these ladies to compete. I know it costs a good amount for guys to eat, like that, because guys are a lot bigger, you need more food, but still, it costs a lot, and these women have to make a lot of sacrifices, especially when it comes to femininity. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I was actually, I had opened a GoFund. I haven't placed it anywhere, but I'm going to do it because time is, ticking, and I have to gather, at least have the transportation over there. And but yeah, I'll do it. I'll place an ad in Facebook, and as you say, $30, $40 are great. If you gather that from a lot of people, it makes a difference. It can be a big difference.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, we'd like to thank the lovely Eva Guzman for coming through. I'd like to thank my man KL the Wanderer, Sean McMillan, also my man Boyle Steve for coming through. Everybody watch this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow the lovely Senora Guzman on her social media platforms. But guys, I'm going to keep telling you this. You sick freaks out there. You guys out there. I know you saw the pictures of Eva. You saw them. They got you pumped. They got your juices flowing. But this is my rule. And it's the rule I keep telling you guys out there. No the pics. Stop it. She has kids. She don't want her son to say, Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, what is you? What is me and Marjorie? He probably fighting guys because that's his mama. I know I would my mama. But like I said, I'd like to thank you, appreciate it. Best of luck to you. I hope you do make your Olympian. And like I said, all the best because I think you're a great lady. I think you have a great future in sport. No matter how old you are You like anything else. You're like a fine wine. Just get better with time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
So,
you.
folks,
See you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Good
So,
night.
folks, this is your man always George Page. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, support Eva, and like I said, just support Eva and support the bodybuilder. Anyways, as I said again, this is your man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Like, comment, don't subscribe. I am out. Good evening and good night.
Bye.